LLS stands for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which funds research for blood cancer. Now we're here today with Charlotte and Travis talking about Lila and her story. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course. Now, Charlotte, tell me about Lila's story.
Yep, so my daughter Lila was diagnosed with leukemia on March 31st of 2021. And as you can imagine, the diagnosis of cancer is a tough pill to swallow at any age or in any part of life, but to have it be your child is actually truly heartbreaking. So she ended up going to MUSC and being diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, or AML, which in some ways could be seen as better than some other forms of leukemia. Typically you have a shorter treatment plan, but the negative side of that is that you actually have to stay in the hospital during treatment. We were lucky that we had the option to enroll her in a clinical trial. She was actually randomized to the trial drug, which was great. It was a new medication. She actually responded extremely well. We had hoped to just have 3 to 4 rounds of chemotherapy and then hopefully would be done. But as a part of that clinical trial, they took a deeper look at her and her cancer, and they found a clinical marker that was going to be an almost guarantee of relapse. So after some thoughtful consideration with her team and obviously reaching out to our friends and family, we made the ultimate decision to have her undergo a bone marrow transplant. So that same year in July, she had a bone marrow transplant from a donor in Germany, which was great. And today, luckily, we can say that she is 2 years in remission and is 100% donor cells, which is great.
And as a mom of a 13-year-old girl going through all that, what was that like?
It was crushing. I think the hardest thing is that you watch your child suffer, and there's honestly nothing you can do about it. You can fight and advocate as much as you can and try to do the best that you can, but ultimately you're truly at the mercy of your medical team and the decisions that they make to best treat her and everything that comes along with her diagnosis. It was a struggle to watch her, emotionally, and especially during the time it was during COVID. So we were even more on lockdown than people normally are. And, to be in middle school and to go through that, to lose your hair, to not see your friends, to not get to go to school, it was a lot. And then just on top of how sick the actual chemotherapy, the treatment makes you. So even though she walked in the door looking very typical and seemed fine, as we started more and more treatment and more of that regimen, she just got sicker and sicker. And so it's hard to kind of get past the fact that all this that you're doing, which seems to be hurting her, is actually, kind of taking her to the next steps.
You have a good support system. You have Travis here, who's been a big help, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's been there with us from day one.
I think one thing too that people just don't realize is that the day she was supposed to work out, she calls me and she's like, something's wrong with Lila, she's got these spots. And so I'm like, well, go take care of the girl, get her some care. That was 3:30 in the afternoon. I think by 5:30 they were heading downtown to MUSC. The next morning she was getting a port put in to begin her chemo. So this all not only happened fast for us, but imagine Lila going through this. And there's not a whole lot of time to think about, what's going on, except for we got to take care of this immediately. So they almost, I want to say that night, started some Caring Bridges stuff, and I told my wife, I was like, we got to do something. So that year we put on a golf tournament and raised some money, and it went off so easily, and it was because of the support system that they already had in place. The community has helped them tremendously, and they have a lot of family and friends that have been by them the whole time. So this time, we really went from basically, as Lila was a little girl, doing wrapping paper and Christmas wreaths to golf tournaments. And now, this year, we're doing the Visionary of the Year for Leukemia and Lymphoma. And we're going to see kind of where we end up, trying to raise a $500,000 toward the cause. And really good cause. And children's pediatric blood cancers, it's real. A lot of people don't really know it until they go out there and they see somebody like this that is going through it. And then the more you talk to people trying to raise money, you realize that, holy cow, it's everywhere. Our money that we originally wanted to get, we wanted to do for cancer research, clinical trials. But as time's gone on, we're kind of looking more down the advocacy role, trying to just get people more aware of what we're doing it and why we're doing it, and also, you know, so that people can understand what these kids are now going through. And, you know, Lila's story is great. She's a survivor now for 2 years, and so when you go out there and you're sharing this with people, hey, everybody has money on the side. Let's give it to kids cancer research, you know. Let's make a difference in this community.